Welcome to part 4. Now, when the current Police Inspector General Joseph Boinet was appointed, there are very many people who believed that he was a political appointee. Okay? What do I mean by that? I mean that some certain very powerful political forces pushed him through. Okay? Now, this is quite believable when you look at the other individuals who were also gunning for the position of Police Inspector General. In my view, there were 2 or 3 other candidates who were much more qualified than Bwana Joseph Boinet. There were 1 or 2 other candidates who had a better vision, were in a better position to have performed much better as a Police Inspector General. Okay? But politics being politics, and the fact that at that time the government side, the TNA and the other party which belonged to Bwana Ruto, the URP, were the majority in parliament, were able to push through this candidate of theirs. Okay? So clearly Bwana Boinet sees himself as somebody who has benefited from some certain political forces. Okay? And this would explain why we have never had a problem with or rather the powers that be have never had a problem with Bwana Boinet. Yeah, he has never emerged as a man of his own thinking. Yeah, he has never emerged as a man who can forge ahead on his own. Yeah, he has always emerged as the kind of Inspector General who does not want to ruffle any feathers. Okay, now this is not the kind of Inspector General the country needed at that point in time. We needed the kind of Inspector General who was going to revolutionize or turn around the police service, yes, from all the evils of the past, from all the things that had gone wrong in the past. One of the top things on the list being police bosses who were too much into politics, yes. Because as my late dad used to remind me, politics and police works can never, ever mix. Okay? But in this country of ours called Kenya, we have always insisted and persisted that the two must mix. Yeah, with very fatal, with very bad consequences. So in my view, Bwana Boinet was destined to fail right from the word go. Okay? Even as we speak, from the interview that was carried out, even as we speak today, here and now, it is very clear that according to Bwana Boinet, is a success as long as the political powers, the powers that be, are happy. From his actions, from the way he behaves, it is very clear that this is the thinking of the man. That as long as the powers that be are happy, everything else can go to the dustbin. And at best, everything else can be a 2nd, 3rd, 4th, 5th, 10th priority. Okay? Now this is why we have the situation as it is in the country today. But there's something very dangerous for Bwana Boinet that he has failed completely to see. Yeah, the tide has changed. Times have changed. Okay, especially after the August 8th buggled general elections, definitely the country is going in a different direction. Okay, and the direction which the country is going will require people to account for the actions. Will require people to account, yeah, for what they have done. Will require people to be able to answer, yeah, their contributions or their lack of contributions to many events that have taken this country in the wrong direction. Not only that, the world has become a very small village, okay, and it would be very, very short-sighted for police IG to think that their actions within a country called Kenya will not be seen anywhere else except within the country. That would be very short-sighted. Okay, what am I talking about? I'm talking about the close attention the whole world is paying to Kenya, especially after the Supreme Court nullified the election of President Uhuru Kenyatta, and now as we await to go back to the ballot for a presidential rerun, the attention of the whole world is based on Kenya, is focused on Kenya. Yeah, and to make matters worse, the fact that the Jubilee government managed to mislead the whole world into believing that they were the popular party, into believing that the election was running like clockwork, it would be free and fair. The fact that they fooled the whole world the first time has now focused the world's attention more on the details of what is really happening in Kenya. Yeah. Now, just take a practical example. You're the boss somewhere, and you give somebody a task to do, and you expect them to do it well. Then they cheat you that everything is going well. For maybe they're the accountant, yeah. Then when the auditors come in, they find that the guy has actually done very little or nothing. What will happen? What is going to happen from there going forward? Well, if you don't fire the guy on the spot, what will happen is that you'll pay very close attention to what he's doing, right? Yeah. So it's the same here. The world is paying very close attention to what Kenya is doing, and the IG cannot escape from that. Now, the saddest thing, according to me, for the IG is that the truth is that he has been somebody else's spanner boy. He has been Jubilee's spanner boy, yeah. But when the human waste hits the fan, he's the one who's going to be on the receiving end, okay? Because he's the person responsible for that particular office. He cannot even pass the buck upwards and say, I received instructions from above. The reason why I cannot do that is, as I told you, this is an independent institution. The police is an independent office. It's supposed to operate completely independent from the executive and from everybody else. It's not supposed to take orders from anybody. Okay? So the excuse he cannot give is that I got orders. While actually the truth is, he did get orders. Yeah, we have plenty of evidence to prove that. In closing, the position with the police is very simple. Okay? It is not correct, it is not accurate to say there's been police brutality. Yeah, that is not accurate. What is accurate to say is that there's been government brutality. It's as simple as that. Okay? Because as I told you earlier in the earlier episodes of this series, this whole thing was a plan. Okay? And it was a plan to quell any resistance. And chances are very high that it would have worked perfectly the way it was supposed to work had the Supreme Court not nullified the presidential election. Really, it's as simple as that. Because this was supposed to be a quick operation. After August 8th, quick operation, quell any violence, get the president confirmed by the Supreme Court, on to the swearing in, done deal. Okay, once he's been sworn in and is back in office, removing him would have been an Herculean task. Very difficult. Okay, and Bwana Boinet would have been safe. But unfortunately for him, that is not what happened. And now, the scenario that is unfolding is very dangerous for him. It is a completely different scenario where he's under the spotlight, and chances are very high that he will have to answer for what all the killings the police have been involved in. He will have to answer for everything the police that has been pinned on the police. But as I've said, it's not really the police. In fact, the way I look at it, when I hear it, so the police are being brutal. As I've told you before, there's no policeman who does anything without orders. Yeah, it's not really the police; it's the government. Yeah, because these are Jubilee police. Yeah, so when the Jubilee police does something, you don't say it is a Jubilee police; you say it is Jubilee. So it's as simple as that. And surely, Bwana Joseph Boinet himself should be able to see that the current situation, the way it is in the country, vis-a-vis what the police are doing, is not sustainable. Even he can see that. Because if he can't see it, then that will mean even more trouble for him. Okay? Until next time, this is Chris Kumekucha.